Hi everyone, so this video is going to be all about block play. Blocks has been a vital resource for many years. I'm sure a lot of you have played with blocks when you were children, as I know I sure did. A good pair of blocks should ideally not be painted because children a lot of the time put the blocks in their mouth, and we don't want the paint to get into their mouth or in their throat because paint can sometimes be toxic. So to be on the safe side, it should rather not be painted. If we are using wooden blocks, it should be smoothly sanded so that there can't be splinters going into a children's mouth or hurt their hands. And then blocks should also be different shapes, different sizes, because this helps children to get in touch with all different types of shapes and measurements and buildings. So that's really important. So another thing to remember is with smaller children, we want to use bigger blocks because their fine motor skills isn't that developed. So it will be easier for them to play with bigger blocks, whereas the children gets older, we can give them smaller blocks as their fine motor skills develop. So I have some blocks here. Well, this is more Lego type of blocks, but it's just to give you an idea. And as we talk about the progressions, I'm going to show you some of them. So when we look at babies, babies usually don't use blocks for building. They don't know what it is yet, so they use their senses a lot. So they taste the blocks, they smell it, they throw it, they feel it. They do anything with blocks except for building them. So they are not ready yet for building, but it doesn't mean that they can't play with blocks. Children gets older, about 2 to 3 year old, they will take the blocks and carry them around. They also don't really build with the blocks yet, but they will maybe fill up containers and take it out again, and then fill up the container with the blocks and then take it out again. So they do all different kinds of things, which is also very educational and good for them. Just because they don't build with the blocks doesn't mean that it's not a good resource for them. It's about 3-year-old. The children start to build towers. So they build, so if it's like normal blocks, they just stack it on top of each other, and then they kick it down or hit it down, and then they laugh, and then they build it up back again. So they love to build towers. Next stage, which is bridging, that's between 3 to 4 year olds. So this is where children will have 2 blocks with a space between them and then connected by a third block. So it will be something like this, where they kind of make like a bridge. So they begin to add to the bridges, and they begin to play around with building. Onto enclosures, which is about 4-year-old. Blocks are placed in such a way that they enclose a space. So they will build something and then they close it. So it will be like a round or a block, a square thing that they build that is closed. They learn concept of inside and outside. So move on to representational building. So this is 4 to 5 year olds. At this stage, they add dramatic play to their block. So they name their structures, and they will say what they have built and what the function is. So this is the castle, and the king is living in the castle, for example. So they actually name the things that they build. The last one we're going to be looking at is building socio-drama. So that's from about 5 years old. So children work together to build a common structure. So maybe 2 or 3 friends or even more work together, and they all decide that they are going to build a big parking lot. And they will decide before they start what they're going to build. They will want to keep the structure up for several days to continue working. And then they start dramatic play. And then when there's cars, they can use whatever they build to go and park in that parking area. And so, yeah, that's when they really start to play with whatever they have built. An important part of block play is that we should have theme-related things in our block play area. So if my theme is, for example, farm animals, I can have little farm animals with my block play area so the children can build things that relate to the theme. So maybe they will build a place where the enclosure where the sheep can be, or a feeding pit for the animals. It's important to have things that's theme related, like posters of farms, if it's farm animals, whatever your theme is, but have something related to that theme in your block play area, because that will encourage children to build things that are related to the theme. Also, blocks can have different colors, different shapes, and this can help with cleaning up of the blocks. So that can also reinforce color concepts and counting, or everyone pick up 5 blocks. So there's so many options when it comes to blocks, and it's such a valuable resource that can really, really help children to learn so many different things.